So it has been raining most of today. There's a little bit of break in the day. So I was just out in my garden and I harvested some banana peppers. I'll show you guys them in a minute. But there's a zucchini that is way overgrown. So I'm gonna pick it and on this rainy day, maybe make some zucchini bread. All day I've been collecting water. I have a 55 gallon, and I know I'm just waving a knife around, I'm gonna cut the zucchini. I have a 55 gallon drum at a point in where the eaves draft let off all the water, or most of the water, and then I have a couple other spots that leak, and I've been collecting water in the 5 gallon buckets, and then I think it's like a 2 gallon bucket. So I've been collecting water all day just because, you know, like the well, we had some issues with that a couple weeks ago, and now we're having issues with our hot water. So we had an issue with the well a couple weeks ago, and we actually had to go collect water. We have a water spot nearby, and we had to go collect water in order to water the garden. When we first moved here, we were utilizing all the rainwater we could for bathing, washing dishes, and I think we just kind of got lazy so with the water collecting. So on top of the well, I also would like to get a system that is gravity fed for the garden, and also something as an extra on top of the well to collect rainwater, but on a bigger capacity than these 55 gallon water barrels. I want to set it up for the chickens as well, because just today alone I've probably gathered I'm gonna say at least 20 gallons of water, and that's all gonna be used for the garden, and potentially for the chickens as well. Maybe I can give you guys a quick little the squash update, I should say. The squash is going crazy. I'm waiting for some bulbs or some fruit to actually take, so because what happens is the female flowers come in, and then they don't get pollinated in time and they die off. So I know that there's a few down here that have pollinated and that took, so those are just going to kind of grow up over time. This is my kubacha squash. So there's one there, there's one here, there's one there. They look like they all took, and there's a few more within the bushes there. Before I cut my zucchini, super excited about my watermelon. So we have 5 melons. They're sugar babies, and this is the biggest one here. We got a couple this size. There's one there and one there. And then there's another one here. And then there's one way back in there. The trick to watermelon is water it every day if you can. Once they start taking fruit, water it every day. But here is my monster of a zucchini. And we're just gonna cut it off. I love this nice knife. It's a Gerber knife. Mora knife, and it can also act as a fire starter too. So let's see this. Woohoo! Look at that. That's huge. Huge. It's like, I'll put it up to the side of my head. Oh. Chickens are squawking. Like, this thing's huge. I got a big head for those that know me in person. So I got one of those biggin heads. So this is a huge zucchini. It is definitely going to be used for zucchini bread. So while I'm kind of home by myself today, I'm going to be doing that. I'm also going to be making some pain salve. And then later I'm going to be, I also have to make banana bread actually. And so maybe the zucchini bread can wait. But and then I'm going to make a pain salve / stick. So it's a little bit easier to apply in a stick. So I'm going to make some of that today. The chickens are all going to think I'm coming for them. Yes, I know. Hello, girls. They're probably going to meet me right about here. There they are. I'm not here for you. I'm here for your eggs, guys. Oh, we got 4. Oh, we got 6 today. We have been getting an average about 4. And I'm wondering if one of them just laid their first one. Because that one looks different. There's 3 plus the one I have is 4, 5, 6. So on average, I've been getting about 4 to 5 a day. This is the first day where I've gotten 6, so that's pretty awesome. And of course, I didn't bring my basket with me, so I got to carry them by hand. So we got half a dozen eggs today. I am excited about that, but I'm thinking that that one that has a little bit more white on it might be from one of the chickens that hasn't really been laying. We're not quite sure about which one that is. So I'll keep that one separate, and I'll feed this one to the dogs just because it's got a white shell, and I haven't researched what that means yet, so I'm going to do that after I get off here. But just to show you guys, this is off about a week's worth, maybe a week and a day. And my daughter's been eating them, not as many as Mike would, and Mike was away for a week, so he didn't get a chance to eat them. So we got to do some things with these eggs. So today I'm going to make, I was just going to make like banana bread, but I have this recipe book that is part of my family. So on my grandma's side, there are 13 brothers and sisters. And so the remaining brothers and sisters got together, and some of the cousins and great aunts and uncles and all that put in their recipes into this book. Lots of family history in this book. So I thought I'd look at it and see if I can find a recipe for banana bread. And what I found, I'm just going to cover up the name of the person. What I found was banana cake. So I'm going to go ahead and use this recipe. And I'll link it down below as well. So if you have any questions about it, go ahead and ask them in the comments below. But yeah, this family recipe book is their favorite recipes of my great-grandparents, my grandma, her siblings, some of their children, some of their children's children, and so it's a really awesome keepsake. So I'm going to go ahead and make this fluffy banana cake. I will give the first name. This is a recipe from my cousin Tanya, and I'm going to go ahead and make this recipe up. In this bowl, we have our sugar, our butter that we've creamed together, and then I went ahead and I added 2 eggs as well as some homemade vanilla. And then to that, I'm going to add my sour milk. It calls for buttermilk or sour milk. Didn't have any buttermilk, so I just went ahead and soured my milk with some vinegar. So we added that in. Give this a mixture. Nice good stir. And then all from here, so I'm going to go ahead and add some of the flour mixture. Get it in there. Oops. So all I'm going to do now is just alternate with some of the flour mixture, making sure it's mixed in well. And then I'll go ahead and add some of the mashed banana, making sure it's mixed in well. Okay. And I'll go ahead and speed this part up. Okay, so Mike is on his way home from work, and I'm going to be utilizing some of our garden veggies and also some of our veggies from the store. I'm going to be making his favorite soup. I came up with this recipe after watching a video from a lady named Bev, and her channel is Our Half Acre Homestead. So I'll link the video that I originally watched down below, and you can see where I got my idea from. So she uses very different vegetables than I use, but I got the recipe from her. So what I use is, she used celery, mushrooms, snow peas, and something else, and I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm going to be using celery, our banana peppers from the garden. I'm going to use one overly ripe jalapeno. I'm going to be using some onion. I think she used onion as well. I'm also going to be using, I bought this a while ago and I put it in the freezer, but it's just some parsley. Normally I grow my own, but I didn't have any at the time I purchased it. So I'm going to go ahead and use that up. And I'm just spraying it with some extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to let that heat up, and I'll bring you down here when I start cooking and stuff. But I'm going to let this heat up, and I probably put about maybe a tablespoon worth. But I'm going to let this heat up, and then I'm going to go ahead and put some garlic on, just let it simmer a little bit. And then whatever vegetables you choose, you're going to grill them. And then we'll get onto the soup stage in just a minute. But we're going to grill our veggies, and that's what brings in all the flavors. Then we'll go ahead and just add these veggies in. And I might even add more corn. I always do it by eye. I think I have too much celery in it this time. I like a lot of corn in it, so I am going to add some more corn. And this will all shrink down too. But I'm going to just turn it up a little bit. Even though it runs hot, I just cooled it way down. And we'll just go ahead and let this simmer. So in here, I just put some butter and some flour, and I kind of melted it together. And I'm just going to add 1 container of broth. Sorry for the steam. Our veggies are all fried up. So we're just going to let this kind of simmer together. And I am using organic broth. And we're just going to kind of let these blend together. And then we'll go ahead and we will add our veggies in, and then it'll be yummy. So with all the veggies, that's what my soup looks like at the moment. We still have another step to do, but that's what it looks like at the moment. So like I said, I'm just going to bring this back up to a boil, and then I'm going to go ahead and let it simmer, I don't know, for like 15 minutes, I guess. I'm going to add almost a full container of cream, like coffee creamer, just 10%. You can use milk if you want to worry about like the fat content, stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is just let this simmer for a few more minutes, and I'm also going to add the parsley. So I'll go ahead and add, oh, of course my spoon fell in. I'm going to go ahead and add the parsley. Well, it's not too hot, I can deal with it. And then I'm just going to let this, so you can see the steam, I'm just going to let this simmer for about 15 more minutes maybe. So tonight Mike's going to get home, he'll have his soup with bread and butter, and then he can have some of the banana fluffy cake that I made. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow our journey, and give this a thumbs up. Really helps us out.